What is the best online business that you can start this year as a beginner? Now look, before you get bored and click off this video because maybe you've seen a video like it before, we're not talking about traditional dropshipping or an agency business model, but instead I'm going to share with you the business models that I've done or worked with people who have used to make over $10,000 a month in profit. And here's what not many people are going to tell you, is that you have to pick a business that aligns with who you are. Look, if you clicked this video, it's because you want to grow an online business this year, so pay attention. You have to pick a business that plays to your strengths, because when you work on something that doesn't feel like work to you, but might feel like work to someone else, you have way more leverage than they do. Now, as the digital landscape evolves, it will require beginners to be willing and able to learn new skills and leverage new technology. And as hard as it sounds, let's be honest, if you had the skills and knowledge you needed, you'd already be making the kind of money that you want to online. So in this video, we're breaking down the best businesses for beginners to start in 2024 to make $10,000 a month in profit or more. We're not looking at businesses like Amazon FBA or day trading as viable options. To be honest, they're way too difficult to start and rarely profitable for the majority. Now, to be fully transparent as always, I am biased on some of these businesses because I've personally used them or work with people who have used them. So I tend to see opportunity where others might not, because I've seen the incredible success potential. But at the same time, I can't guarantee you the same outcomes for yourself. I've put in countless hours into my businesses, so while I know the vehicles of these businesses truly offer amazing opportunities, you must be aware of the price that incredible success comes at. The first business being one that I've used to make the most amount of money in my life, which is print on demand. Now, while this business has gained some popularity with the rise of AI, it's still barely been tapped into yet. Now, simply put, print on demand is a drop shipping business model where you're selling products which have designs on them that have not been physically made yet. You work with a print provider who offers blank, white label products. There's countless options here, but typically mugs, t-shirts, hoodies, and generic everyday products sell the best. Like any good business model, this one is simple to understand, and there's only 3 steps. Your job as the business owner is to get a design and upload it to the blank product you've chosen to sell. Then you can use that design to make a custom mock-up image of the product, which is a preview of what the final product will look like once the customer receives it. And finally, you'll use that mock-up image to market the product online to get people to buy it. Print on demand is not a difficult business model, and probably the easiest one on the list, with the only real challenge being assembling the designs and listing the products for sale. It also offers a lot of unique qualities that some of the other businesses that we'll look at don't have. For example, much of the repetitive work can be automated and outsourced using AI, or the fact that you can use marketplaces like Etsy to sell your products, which cuts down on many costs. You can start this business completely for free by using links with coupons and by selling on Etsy. But even if you wanted to spend a little bit of money to get things going faster, at most, you'd be spending maybe between $50 to $500 at the higher end. The downside to running a print-on-demand business is that you need time to get good and make better designs and figure out marketing to get those products to sell. If you start out on Etsy, as I always recommend, you can let them do the marketing for you, which takes a little bit of additional time as well, but it saves you some money. The best attribute about print on demand is its scalability, because every time you make and post a new design for sale, you're increasing your profit potential. Now, on top of that, since your orders fulfill automatically after you make and post the products for sale, they'll continue to sell on autopilot, getting you as close to passive income as I've seen with a business model. This means that you're saving on marketing expenses and your business will continue to run on autopilot long into the future. This makes it a beautiful vehicle for starting a business because you can scale individual shops to between $5,000 and $30,000 a month in profit. However, I will say I don't see this being a business that can reach 7 figures plus in profit each year for the majority of people. Overall, for beginners, I would give this a 9 out of 10. When you've successfully done these 3 things and someone finds and buys your product online, the print provider who you've chosen to work with, such as Printify, will print the design on that item and ship it off directly to the customer. Now, this business has changed significantly over the past couple of years. Nowadays, it doesn't really matter if you're selling stickers or posters, mugs, or t-shirts. Print on demand allows you to sell custom products. where the customer sends you a photo or saying that they want printed on the item. You can sell pre-made designs that you purchase from a designer, or now you can even sell AI-generated designs. You'll take the product with your design on it and post it for sale online. This could be a personalized website on Shopify that you drive your own traffic to, or it could be a marketplace website such as eBay or Etsy, which drive their own traffic, making the marketing step a lot easier. Now, a year ago, this next business vehicle would have scared a lot of people away. But with the no-code tools we have now and just a little bit of imagination, it's accessible to everyone, and that's with SaaS, or software as a service. This is a business where you really start to feel like you're building something unique. A SaaS is a software or program that solves a specific problem. This could be as simple as a browser extension. It could be a chatbot that integrates into a website to answer customer support questions. It could be an application on a mobile device, or even a robust program that users can install on their computers. Selling software scares a lot of people away for one reason, and that's the language barrier of code between them and the software. Building a SaaS requires you to identify an area for automation or software improvement and come up with a solution. I've been building my software with a clear objective: to build a program that can handle automatically uploading designs to print-on-demand products. That's how I came up with the Product Uploader program. I was able to identify a problem that I had and that I knew other people had as well. And without knowing anything about coding or building software, I just used a few Google searches, ChatGPT, and no-code tools to build out a prototype. I wasn't learning everything about being a software engineer. I just had to learn enough to build a proof of concept. Once I knew that the automation I wanted to do could be done, I hired out a professional developer to build the rest for me. Now, in my case, this was expensive, but it allowed me to get the program usable for everyone who's running their own print-on-demand businesses without me having to learn how to do it myself. Even though it's a first draft of the program and we're working on improving it and making it a lot more valuable and adding new features, it's a great start for where we want to go with it. SaaS inherently comes with a lot of benefits that other businesses don't, such as low competition. The complexity of selling software as a business model creates a moat around your business, making it extremely difficult and unlikely for someone to compete on your same specific idea. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, SaaS is the most difficult option on the list for beginners because there is a steep learning curve involved. But after working on my own SaaS product for several months, I can tell you that with no-code tools and AI, it's definitely doable, which is why it's still on the list. For startup capital, you can prototype out basic functionality for free using a program like Figma, and if you invest a little bit of time, you can usually get something working with no-code tools and AI. But to actually bring the program to market, you'll likely need to hire a developer who can build out the rest of the product for you, which does make it difficult to estimate the startup cost, but I would say at minimum $500. Since you'll be testing and revising the program, 3 to 9 months of building time would be expected depending on how much time you can invest into it each day. Now, SaaS is one of the most scalable options on the entire list. With one single program, you can have infinite users, which can scale to infinite income if it's a great product. And besides the marketing of the software, it's another mostly passive business model where there's no direct service that you have to provide to each customer. You make the software once, and you can distribute it as much as you want with no additional cost. That level of scale, this business model is obviously profitable. If you charge $10 a month per user and get 5,000 users, that's roughly $50,000 a month in recurring revenue. That also means that the business could be sold for around $6 million with a 10x multiple, which is common for software. Now, considering most software applications are only expensive up front, you have a very high profit margin on the monthly recurring subscription. Overall, for beginners, I would give this one a 6.5 out of 10. This challenging risk offers extremely high reward, but it really isn't for everyone. The more time you're willing to invest into building a SaaS yourself, the cheaper it is up front. You can build out everything that you need and test it by yourself like I did, but once it does come time to build out the full software, working with developers can cost several hundred to thousands of dollars depending on the scope of your project. Of course, building a SaaS product is much more complex than some of the other options on our list, but when you have a clear picture or idea of what you want to offer, it becomes so much easier to make it a reality. Next on the list is another that I'm quite familiar with, and that's selling info products. An info product is a collection of specialized knowledge and information assembled into a digital download. This could take the form of an online course, an ebook, or something a lot more simple, such as checklists or templates. I've sold my info product, the Six-Figure Storefront, for a few months now, and it teaches everything that I know about owning and scaling an Etsy shop in over 5 hours of specialized, unique content. The thing to understand about info products is you're just synthesizing information and using it to target specific needs. Products like courses usually sell better if you have an audience, but you could always make them and sell them on marketplace websites like Skillshare or Udemy. For beginners, info products don't have to be complex 5-hour courses. They could be something much more reasonable, like a resume template or a monthly budget tracker or a digital guide, which could all be sold on Etsy. The more valuable the information that you're selling, the higher the price you can sell it for, and the better the information is, the more sales you'll get. The info product business doesn't have to be super difficult to get into, and in fact, if you already have some specialized knowledge, it can be quite easy. But if you're not sure which area you specialize in, and if you're selling a lower ticket info product, then you'll need to collect more information to make your info products more valuable. So for that reason, it's a medium difficulty for most people. This business can be started for $50 in most cases. The only thing you'd really be paying for is any fees or software costs that you'd need to build the product. This can be a quickly scaled business depending on the product you're selling and how you're marketing them. If you post them for sale on a personal website and then pay to run ads or use organic traffic, you'll be able to make money a lot faster than if you're posting them on a marketplace platform like Etsy, where they'll drive the traffic for you. Due to the product's nature, since it can be created once and distributed infinitely, the only thing that's restricting your sales is how many people know about and want to buy your product. So outside of marketing the product, you can sell it passively and continue to generate sales without needing to change anything about the core info product. You're also going to be operating on a very high profit margin, as we already talked about. You'll only be limited to the amount that you're able to sell. But high-ticket info products can make anywhere from a few thousand to multiple six figures in profit each month. Overall, for beginners, this being a little bit more difficult, I would give it an 8 out of 10. It's a very worthwhile business to begin to understand, even if you start out on a lower ticket level. The Six-Figure Storefront course that I built is based on years of selling experience, so I'm confident in what it can deliver. And to be clear, if you want to get to the point where you're selling a product for hundreds of dollars, you need to have experience to back it up and make it actually worth the price. The next business is as close to an agency as we'll look at, and that's offering a content-based service. A content service business focuses on offloading specific tasks from people who have a social media presence. But the thing that you'll love about this is that this business can be tailored to fit your passions and expertise. There's a lot that goes into content. There's copywriting, which includes newsletters, blog posts, tweets, or really any written content. And then there's video services, which could include content ideas or editing services or designing thumbnails. There's a lot of different needs that you could apply your own skills and interests to. Your job is finding someone with a social media presence and getting them to pay you for your services to fill that specific need on a regular basis. It's not difficult to get clients if you're skilled at any specific subject. However, if you're still in the learning phase and haven't mastered a skill that's useful to anyone yet, you'll need to spend a little bit of time working on your skills first. The good thing is that you can start this business opportunity for free. Once you prove that you can get some clients, obviously you can expand your operation and invest into better tools or staff to help you out. But to get started, you shouldn't need a large investment. Again, depending on your ability and skill level, you could get clients as quickly as within your first month. However, it's likely to be a bit slower until you're able to build up a portfolio of work. A challenge for anyone who wants to scale their content service business into more of an agency model is that you'll have to hire and train employees to do the work that you're doing and keep your clients happy, which means they'll need to complete the work as well as you did it. So for that reason, I consider this model to be not as scalable as some of the others. Despite that, this is still one of the most profitable businesses. Instead of having to build up a social media presence for yourself, you're capitalizing on everyone else's social media following. And since social media is quite lucrative, influencers will pay a premium to get good work done. And as you build up an attractive portfolio, you'll be able to charge even more. Content services can bring in a few thousand on the low end to up to tens of thousands of dollars a month in profit. Overall, for beginners, I would give this a 7 out of 10. A content service business is much less passive than something like a SaaS or an info product, but the upside is that you truly get to play to your passion and ability. If you're someone in love with graphic design or writing, or you just love video editing, you can carve out a specialized service business around your interests. And for that reason, I believe if you have the skills that can benefit content creators, this can be a very enjoyable and profitable business for beginners. Now, another business that you may not be familiar with is a remote closer. Now, this is a salesperson that typically works with influencers who are selling high-ticket products, such as courses, cohorts, or training programs, which can cost thousands of dollars. The remote closer will take the hot leads, which are usually generated by the person who's selling the offer, and they'll hop on a sales call with them and try and close the deal. When the customer pays, let's say $5,000, the influencer will pay out a percentage of the sale as a commission to the remote closer. Remote closers have a difficult position at first, where they need to learn the basics of sales and how to land clients that will send them leads to close. However, after that initial learning curve, it gets much easier. You wouldn't need any startup investment unless you're paying for some kind of coaching or training. You could always start this business for free. As a remote closer, you can start earning money as quickly as your first month with the correct training. But as I mentioned, you'll need clients and the skills to be able to close the customers on a high ticket offer. Now, one of the biggest drawbacks to being a remote closer is that your only scalability is your price and the commission you're charging. Since you'll always be doing the work, hopping on calls and closing deals, the individual calls may not take up so much time, but you're limited on the amount of calls that you can close each day. So for that reason, it's less scalable than some of the other options. That also means that eventually your income might plateau, even though you still can earn quite a bit by mastering this skill. Highly efficient salesmen that close maybe 2 deals a day at $500 commission each could easily make $30,000 a month. Overall, for beginners, I would give this a 6 out of 10. Now, with that being said, sales is one of the most valuable skills to have. And while it might not make you 7 figures of profit in your first year, it's a skill that can compound in effect and pay off for your entire lifetime. Remote closing is the best of the sales world because you're able to work from wherever you want to in the world. You have the ability to work with top influencers and business owners, which can help you build your network and overall credibility. And instead of having to work cold leads and convert people who don't want to actually buy, remote closers are usually selling people on products that they're already interested in. Now, of course, with any of these business models, you could make nothing, and that's where everyone starts. But these models can be scaled to the point where you're making thousands of dollars each month. Ladies and gentlemen, the best business model for you is, of course, the one that you feel most aligned with, like you have the best chance of success with. Any business model can work, but it only works when you do. So you have to pick one that resonates with you and that feels like the best vehicle to get you to the next stage of your life and put it into action.